Alrighty, here we are, another glorious, beautiful Utah morning. I hope the camera's picking me up right. I'm looking straight into the sun here. Um, I got a request from somebody just to give you guys a little breakdown of what gear I use for my type of fishing. As you can see from my previous videos, I like to float fish. Uh, I think it's engaging, it's active, as opposed to more static, approaches that you usually see people use with bite alarms and bivvies and all that sort of stuff. Me, I like short sessions on the float, simple gear, simple bait, keep it on the cheap, and you're just having fun at the same time. But yeah, let's do a quick breakdown of my rig. Of course, first of all, my rod. This is a Witchwood extricator. It's the 9-foot one. I believe they're rated at 2.75 pounds. Now, for float fishing, this is actually quite heavy. Traditional float fishing techniques require something more in the range of 1.5 pounds up to like 2 pounds. Nice longer rods, just to catch all the fish at the bank, pulling on your line. It acts as a shock absorber. To have like a nice long rod that bends, parabolic rod bends all the way through to the handle. It's not what I use. Got a reason for it. This thing still works for float fishing for me because it's got a very sensitive, flabby tip. It's very sensitive, and that helps, catching, the shock absorber part. But when the fish get a little heavier, this thing got so much backbone in this last little stretch. I would catch a 30-pounder with this and not break a sweat. This rod can handle it. At the same time, I can float fish with it because of the sensitive tip. You see, I'm just a blue collar guy. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a garage full of rods. This is my setup. So when days get windy, I do pack bait fish, and so I needed a rod that can do both. So it's maybe a little light for the pack bait, and it's maybe a little heavy for the float fishing, but overall, this thing does the trick for me. Witchwood extricator, I think it comes at like, it's a mid-range one, 60, $70. You can find one. Now, paired with this, I have a bait runner reel. Again, it's not really traditional for float fishing, but I'd also pack bait fish, and I like a bait runner function on it. It's a 5,000 Fox EOS. Don't know if the camera can pick that up. So it's a 5,000 reel. It's actually, that sounds a little heavy for the float fishing. Again, typically for float fishing, you want something in the range of like 4,000. That will do the trick, as long as it got a good drag. Now, got cheap ass Berkeley line on this Trilene XL. It's El Cheapo. But high knot strength. It's super abrasion resistant, and it can take a punch. Just kind of, all round line. I believe I got 12 pounds on it right now, and which again is kind of on the heavy side for float fishing. If I want to switch to pack bait fishing, for instance, I'm here this morning. You can see it's beautiful. It's virtually no wind, perfect float fishing conditions. But if the weather turns, I could decide to go pack bait fishing, and this line will, of course, handle the heavier strain you put on your gear, lobbing out that big bait ball. So that's basically my rod and reel setup. Now, I'm going to stop this video and get set up a little bit and show you a bit more about how to rig my float up, how to dial it all in, and end up with just a little bait talk, how I chum. Like I said, somebody requested me to make a video like that, so Hope it's all clear. Do ask questions. If you have any, I'll be happy to answer them. I'm passionate about float fishing, and so I'd love to talk about it all day. But yeah, I'm going to stop my video, get some stuff going, and I'll be right back with you. All right, boys and girls, I'm back here. Just quickly made an initial rig for myself. Got my bait ready there. Already chummed a little bit. I tend to do that, right when I get to the swim. My first priority is getting that chum in. A good amount, 2-3 handfuls, like half a can to a full can of corn. Chuck it in where where you see fish or you're expecting them to be. Oh, there's a fish right there. Typically doctoring would say when you're float fishing, you got to look for them first and then chum. You look for, bubbles first. And but in this case, I happen to know this particular swim, it's just a very high stock. I know the carp are there at all times, and just pick a spot and go fish it. But normally I would advise you to, when you first arrive at your swim, just look. Put on your Polaroid and just sit there and look for a bit. And just observe and see where you see all your activity at, and then choose your fishing spot accordingly. In my case, I know it's loaded full with fish. So my tackle, we haven't spoken about that. Got a little tackle box with my floats and my rubber stops back there. This is my main tackle box. Beautiful thing. I love this thing. The Corda, it's a little bit more expensive, but it holds a ton of gear. So hooks, I prefer these bad boys. It's just a simple, pretty much straight hook shape. That's what I like with fishing. I don't need an inturned eye. I don't need an outturned eye. This is slightly inturned eye. This might actually work. I do have different types. My wide gape is pretty much all I ever use. Bought this on a whim. Still have to try it. I might try this with pack bait fishing. But I got different brands. This is a Corum brand. Pretty much also a wide gape. Some fox carp hooks, same wide gape, and I got some Gamakatsu, if I pronounced it correctly, specialist. Pretty much all the same sort of shape, straight, wide gaped hook. It's kind of what you want to use. If I use like a jolly hook or something like that, I'm not so sure if it will always grab hold of the fish's lip using a float fish technique. I'm not so sure. I'm not an expert. I could be full of shit. I prefer it like that. It works for me. Simple hook. Other than that, yeah, I got a bunch of braid. I mean, this is all my, I do pack bait fishing as well. Like I said, love these things. The Corda, love those things. Anyways, but we're float fishing today. Quick rundown. I prefer this style of float, which is called a waggler. I need to clean this shit up, don't I? This one broke. Then I got some more like straight types. Very basic, very simple. These actually come pre-weighted. Let's see. This one I bought recently. Love this float. It's also pre-weighted. Nice long antenna. Kind of right in between those big bulbous ones, and that's kind of the type of float you want to be using. It's a very light one, and this particular one, my wife likes to use these things. I don't know. I feel you can get these at Walmart. Those still floats with the little thingy on it. They work. You can use them for the exact same floating technique. I personally think they're a little clunky, but like I said, my wife likes them, and she has outfished me with those things many occasions, so I do take it seriously. I just don't prefer them. Other than that, yeah, this is all pretty much static fishing crap I have in here, but I do have my lead. I have like two types of lead shot in here. I think I actually have the packaging. Split shot, I mean, you can buy them at Bass Pro. I think they might be a little bit of a uh, different weight since it's American split shot. I prefer to source them from Europe. It's just, that's what I know. That's what I use. That's what I've been taught to use. So good old Dinsmores. I got two types here. SSG, as you see, 1.6 grams. And these AAA ones are exactly half the weight of that. So I can sort of fine tune if needed. So other than that, this is pretty much the only piece of tackle I source locally at the Cabela's, is these rubber stops I use. You can find them at the split shot section at the Cabela's. They're being there, pack of 3, like $2, cheap, simple, and I buy them locally. So that's my tackle, really. Like I said, I fish light. I don't have much crap with me. My backpack holds all my tackle, my camera equipment, towels, my reel, and then today I took a little cooler with me. It's got my bait in there, a few cans of corn, chicken feed. Of course, I got a 42-inch landing net. This is the Saber brand. I think I paid like $40 for it. Simple, but it's sturdy. It's been with me for a year and a half now. I can't fault it on anything. And then the business end, the seating arrangement. I do like a chair that is super lightweight, compact, and with the extendable feet, because, like you see, this is a bit of an incline. You really want something with those extendable feet to be comfortable fishing. And like I said, towel, and here's my bait. So normally I fish with just normal kernel canned sweet corn. You drain it, empty it in a thing. I empty about two cans at a time, put it in a bucket. Usually I would use hemp hearts in it. Started doing that this year. It's been working beautifully for me. Only I ran out. So I use the kind of additive I use for my pack bait. So we're actually experimenting a bit today. This is chicken feed that I added to it. There's some, grains in there, some millet, small little particles. I'm a particle fisherman. I believe in having small little bits and bobs with your corn. When you chum it, it just entices that fish to stick around, rummage around, and just stay in the area until they find all the little grubs. And so, yeah, that's my bait. That's my tackle. That's my kit. I got some 12-inch bank sticks with stabilizers. This little thingamabob down here, it just adds an extra pin to the bank stick, so it's more stable, super stable. And that's pretty much it. So I already, oh my God, there was a fish right in the margin here. Little bubbles. I scared it with my blabbing. So I got a rig tied up crudely. I haven't dialed in yet. Just wanted to show you guys how it works in practice. Did a video on it before, but that was more me just showing the rig and talking about it, theoretically speaking. Let's see how that works in practice. So I put enough lead underneath that thing. As you can see, got 3 of those SSG English fancy split shot. And that should make that float sit just right. See, you've got the antenna just sticking out, not too much. This is, how I want it to look when I'm out there fishing. Everything's dialed in, and this is what I want to be looking at, right? Okay, here's what we do. Here's what we do. I'm holding the camera with one hand, so bear with me here as I fumble around. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to add another split shot to this thing. Tackle. Oh, my bag fell. I'm going to grab another SSG. Put you out here for a sec while I put that on my line. So got 3 split shot on my line right now. Makes that float sit nicely. Adding a 4th. Here we are. I added a 4th one. And show you, this should make that whole thing sink like the proverbial brick. And it does. Perfect. Now this is where we are going to be starting to dial in. I'm going to cast in. Well, first I'm going to slide that split shot that I just added way down to my hook, about 4 inches from my hook. That's going to be my anchor shot. My whole rig will sort of sit on that last split shot. Show you how that works in practice in a second, while I put you guys on the thingy again here, and I'll be right back with you. All right. Now we're back at the view you're used to from me. Now it's going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see the float out there. I do apologize for that. I need to work out how I want to film that and have it all more visible for you guys in future videos. Something I'm working on. In the meantime, you'll just have to take my word for it. So I am sliding this split shot down 4 inches. Some people like it longer. I like it really short. Why do I like it this short? Because when something happens to that bait underwater, something will probably happen to this little last split shot, and it will make that float twitch, move, react. It's a direct, connection with my bait. That float will tell you what's happening underwater by having such a short rig. Carp comes by, picks up the bait, picks up the lead, and your float will move. That's exactly the whole thought behind it. Now, I know I am dialed in way too shallow, so this thing is going to sink like a brick if I cast it out there now. So I'm going to lengthen it to a point where I think I'm about, I've fished this area many times, so I kind of know how deep it really is here. I think I'm in the ballpark. Split shot arrangement. I like to put my split shot directly underneath my float, close to my float. The only reason I do that, it just gives me a little bit more casting weight. It's just easier casting for me, especially with a slightly too heavy rod like I'm using. It's a little too stiff. I like to put it directly underneath the float for that reason. Some people like to spread them out. What that does, once you cast in, it will make that bait sink more quickly and naturally. But I'm a patient man, so I'll just wait for that bait to sink on its own. It's just how I do it. Like I said, I'm not an expert. Probably there's more experienced float fisher people who would actually correct me at some points. But this is how I do it. It's working for me. And so I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. There's probably more the one way leading to Rome, as they say. But I'm going to cast this in for the first time and see how it looks. Does it sink? It's actually just sinking. Okay. Sure. So my float is not coming up. So that means I need to lengthen that rig a little bit more. It took a second, but ultimately it did sink. So we're close, but we're not quite there yet. So I tend to move it by like 4 to 6 inch increments until I see that float come up again. I just keep casting, keep doing it. As you get more experience, you actually get, pretty quick at this dialing in part. At first, you're probably casting a couple of times. That's okay. I'm too far out. That's not exactly where I am. Still not coming up. I guess we're too shallow still. Again, turn the whole thing up some more. That's more like it. That's more like it. Now we have our float come up. Now I want to fine tune it a little because I'm shifting it with 4 to 6 inch increments. I might want to now go down again, like what, an inch or two? See how it looks? And once more. And we are perfect. It came down just a little bit. Well, we're dialed in. Our float's coming up the way we want. And we are ready to fish. And that's how you dial in. Your rig. It's really so very simple. Takes a bit of fiddling. You have to maybe cast once or twice. But once that float comes back up again, that last split shot is sitting on the bottom. And you're fishing, I call it fishing sharp. I mean, you're all dialed in. Everything is like down to like an inch and a half. You're absolutely accurate with your depth. So, well, I hope I didn't scare the fish too much with my talking, and see if we can actually catch a fish today. So I'm gonna end my little presentation here and just continue my video like you're used to it from me, with me fishing and hopefully catching a few fish. And yeah, any questions? Just shoot, and I'll do my best to answer them. And one last thing, my last video, I do apologize for the hat. It looks stupid. In the meantime, I got myself a new fishing hat, and works a bit better for me. And oh, that was a carp jumping pretty loudly. So they're out there this morning. I see splashes. I see little bubbles in the middle there. There's a bunch of fish right there, 2 or 3 of them. So they are there, and let's hope they're hungry. We're just waiting for that first bite. Like I said, the fish might swim in your line, or as they are feeding and wagging their tails to move around, the water might disturb your line underneath there. Don't strike at that. You'll learn to recognize it. We got something on the other end this morning. Number one. I hope it's a carp. I don't think it's big. This is all real time. My rig has maybe been in the water for 5 minutes. It's a darn catfish. It's a cat. You are not invited this morning, buddy. Oh, it's actually a really good sized catfish for this swim. I think a good 5 or 6 pounds, maybe. I mean, they're strong. They have stamina like carp do, but I don't know. I don't like catfish. I'm not a fan. Aren't cats like the bream of American carp fishing? Considering the bream or the tench of U.S. carp fishing scene are catfish. Nothing personal, buddy. Nothing personal. And is in. It's actually a good sized fucking catfish. I think my record sits at 9 pounds over here. Of course, I still have all the crap on my unhooking mat from my presentation talk. Oversight. All right. You're still. Almost fell. Yeah, oh shit! Almost fell it. Don't worry, people. I have a rescue swimming diploma. Swim like a fish. Off you go. It's actually a really good sized fish. I'm not a catfish expert, but I believe these are channel catfish. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's keep you guys central here. You know what it is? It's those damn spikes. They constantly threshing their head, trying to stab you, which I feel is very rude. Maybe that's why I don't like him. Richard, you come very unprepared this morning. Normally I would have that all ready. Okay, this guy is hooked really weirdly. He managed to hook himself twice. One. You know what? The line went all the way through. I'm gonna cut my line. I do want them to be safe. Don't thrust. Don't thrust. Don't thrust. Right. I'd rather cut my line than pull it through its cheek 2-3 times. I'm gonna weigh it. I'm curious how much it is. Good. Take away the weight of my net. Close to my PB. Pound under. 8-pounder. Catfish. I'm not even gonna freaking touch it. Can you tell they stabbed me once or twice? I just don't like catfish. I don't like it. Something happening. Getting a distinct lift, but no. Sail away. Lift. I think I'm on. Yes, I'm on. Coming towards. A freaking turtle? And it's shitting out a bunch of corn right now. This is weird. People, I've never, ever even seen a turtle. You got it here first. Is this a pet turtle or is this new? I'm good. Let me help you. Oh, it came off. It came off. Now use cramp. And it's swimming off. Okay. A turtle. The heck?